Hey everyone, it's Colin from DIY Guy. Thanks for checking out today's video on why a cover crop might be the best thing you can do for your garden this fall. Now you might have noticed I'm not at my house right now. I'm actually at a park because it's beautiful outside, and when it's beautiful outside, then everyone and their dog loves to bark, mow their lawn, all that good stuff. So I came to kind of get away from all the noise. Now if you're new to the whole idea of a cover crop, join the club. I've never done it before. I just did some research and I think it's going to be a really good idea, a really good thing for my garden this fall. If you are an experienced cover cropper, make sure you leave a comment below. Let us know what your go-to cover crop is and what kind of experience you've had with it. Is it good, bad, worth it, not worth it? Let us know. So if you've already given cover crop some thought and you're just not sure if it's for you, maybe it's a waste of time you think, I've got 3 really good reasons that might convince you why you should do it this fall. Number 1. Now before I just blurt this one out, I want you to think about something. I want you to think about your garden soil. Now specifically, think about how much effort and time you put into building up that garden soil to give your veggies the perfect home. If you're like me, you spent all your composting, maybe even splurged a little bit, went to a Home Depot or a Lowe's and bought some topsoil or manure, just be the cherry on top of it all. Well, let me tell you something. If you don't have a cover crop, you're gonna be doing the exact same thing next year. And this is because of our little gardening nemesis and reason number 1 why you should plant the cover crop: soil erosion. This fall, if all you have is bare dirt in your garden, the rain and snow melt is just gonna wash your topsoil everywhere, literally everywhere except where you want it in your garden. A cover crop is gonna prevent that. Number 2, a cover crop maintains your soil ecosystem. In peak gardening season, your dirt is chock full of nutrients, microbes, insects, all that good stuff. And if you just leave it bare for 3 to 5 months out of the year, especially over the cold months, it's not gonna thrive. It would be like us going to a parking lot and setting up camp for 3 to 5 months. You're gonna get bored, you're gonna get hungry, you're not gonna have a place to live, and you're probably gonna move. That's exactly what these microbes and insects are gonna think. They're gonna think, I don't have anything to survive with here. I'm gonna peace out and move to a better part of the yard. Now I wanna take a little tangent and talk about how a cover crop can really help manage the nitrogen levels in your garden. I'm sure you know that nitrogen is one of the key ingredients you need in a healthy garden, and you might also know that it washes away and is depleted during a heavy rain very quickly. So when we talk about nitrogen in cover crops, there's really 2 types. We have nitrogen fixing and nitrogen scavenging. Nitrogen fixing is a cover crop that actually generates its own nitrogen and then releases it back into the soil when you cut it down in the spring. 3 good examples are clover, legumes or any kind of beans, and alfalfa, which is actually the one I'm growing this year. Now the second type is a nitrogen scavenging crop, and this is actually going to uptake existing nitrogen from your soil and just store it. It's going to be like a nitrogen battery for the winter, and it's just going to keep the rain and snow from washing the nitrogen out of your garden. Some good examples of this one are rye grass, millet, radishes, and turnips actually. Now some of those things you can even eat in a salad, which is kind of cool. Now I'm not going to tell you exactly which one you should plant because honestly they're all better than nothing. I'm personally planting alfalfa, which is nitrogen fixing, just because I feel like I need something to replenish all the nitrogen that gets washed down my garden because it's kind of on a hill. Moving on, we've got the 3rd and final reason you should plant the cover crop. Hopefully you're convinced. If you're not, hopefully this one will do the trick. But this 3rd one is that a cover crop actually prevents and relieves soil compaction. And that's exactly what compaction is. So the rain and snow is just gonna beat that bare ground and it's gonna smush all the air out of it for that 3 to 5 months of winter. And if you have really clay soil, it's gonna be even worse because those really tiny particles packed together super tightly. Now, if you claim to be a follower of the no dig, no till cult, you might have your membership revoked next year if you don't plant the cover crop. Your soil is going to be so compacted that you're going to have to dig or till it up just to add air back into it. One of the biggest benefits of a cover crop is that it's a natural aerator. Those roots are going to go in, they're going to break up the soil, they're going to add air to the soil, they're going to improve your water filtration and just make the soil ecosystem super healthy, which takes us back to number 2, improving your soil ecosystem. Well, there you go. There are 3 really good reasons why you should plant the cover crop this year, but if you're not quite convinced, I think I've got one more thing that'll push you over the edge. Let's go check out the garden. Alrighty, welcome back to the garden. You can probably see a green hue over this, what once was a bare spot in my garden, but these are 10-day-old alfalfa sprouts. I just had a 1-pound bag of alfalfa seeds laying around that I used for sprouting earlier this year. Just thought that would be fun to try. But all I did was kind of flatten it out with a rake, and then I took a 1 measuring cup full of sprouts and I just sprinkled it over the garden, just loosely sprinkled it by hand. And then, since Hurricane Ian was coming to destroy the world last weekend, I actually very lightly spread some grass clippings over top just to make sure that they didn't all get washed to the bottom. We were without power for a day and a half, by the way, which was awesome. So I just wanted to show you this because for me as a gardener, I just love growing anything from seed, and watching all these little sprouts pop up is super fun. So hopefully that pushes you over the edge and convinces you to grow a cover crop this fall. Well, there you go. I hope you enjoyed this video on why you should plant the cover crop. I'll definitely do a follow-up video in the spring of what it looks like and how to harvest it all, and just kind of how it did, just an experiment really. But with that, definitely recommend you try it out. Keep growing yourself, and I'll catch you in the next one.